The main thing that I like about this Congress is the multifaceted areas that everybody's come from, and that, the different countries and how they manage wounds basically, and the problems that different countries have. It's been interesting to hear from the German side how the costs that they have implication that actually is to the patient, whereas in the UK the cost implication is to the provider.
The different number of professionals that are here. There's a range of everybody from every different healthcare professional that related to wound care. That's very, very good for us.
It's made me think about how I manage wounds. It's made me think and reflect on patient self-care, dressing products. And when I go back, I will take the information and share it with colleagues at work. We will talk about the consensus document, we'll discuss it, we'll look at better ways of working with staff and also with patients as well, collaboratively.
We need to think very carefully about the holistic care of the patient. Somebody made a very good point earlier on, which is that we need to treat the whole of the patient and not the hole in the patient. And I think that along with things like exudate management, how to manage that, not just the venous side but also lymphedema and other types of edema, is incredibly important, and certainly something that we shouldn't miss in patients with lower limb ulceration.
The session on biomechanics particularly stuck in my mind. I've never really understood or had a lot of input with regards to cell migration, so it was really interesting to have a biomechanist give us some science on cell migration across wounds.
I think Link has been great for me and my colleagues when I go back to London, is to see how fortunate we are in the UK with the National Health Service and the availability of dressings to us, whereas I've heard from different people around the world how much more difficult it is.
I think what has been surprising, which isn't really on a clinical thing, is how well the speakers are translating to English. I think, put me to shame. And I think some of the posters that are on exhibition is really good, and it's nice to see new products out on display and getting people looking and talking about that before we get the launch over in the UK.
I think Link is really helpful from the point of view of sharing best practice among clinicians. So I think we're actually bringing in a lot of research and information from different backgrounds and different specialties, and very often we find that we work within our niche and within our particular area. We tend to go to those sorts of conferences, but actually this covers so many areas, and you very often discover that there's quite a lot of crossover between different areas of wound care, which is incredibly helpful.
Having more events like this, where you're not just coming along to listen to talks all the time, where we can actually discuss what's going on, and being international, they may have something in another country that we're not using yet, so it's a take home then, and we can put it into our own practice.